The meadow erupted in a sudden spray of dirt as Harvey tore across the wildflowers. He was a blur of motion, banking hard around the oak trees and leaving the squirrels scrambling for cover. He did not run to get anywhere, he ran to be seen. He circled the deer twice, kicking up a cloud of dust that forced them to blink and turn away, then skidded to a halt just to watch them cough. Harvey thrived on the chaos he left in his wake. Then, he spotted the target. Thomas was moving along the edge of the path, his feet pressing firmly into the earth with a slow, rhythmic cadence. He did not look up, he did not change his pace. Harvey zipped around him in a tight, aggressive arc, his breath sharp and fast compared to the steady, quiet inhale of the tortoise. Harvey stopped directly in front of him, blocking the path, and leaned in close. "Try to keep up, slowpoke," Harvey shouted. Thomas did not stop. He simply shifted his weight, stepped around the hare, and continued his steady, unwavering walk toward the horizon. The following Tuesday, the morning air hung heavy and still near the old oak tree. Harvey waited by the trunk, tapping his foot against the roots, until he saw the familiar, rhythmic approach. He stepped into the center of the path, arms crossed, and waited for the tortoise to reach him. "You are a waste of space," Harvey sneered, his voice sharp enough to make the nearby birds take flight. Thomas stopped. He did not flinch. He looked up, his eyes steady and calm, and held his ground. "Harvey, I challenge you to a race," Thomas said, his voice clear and resonant. "In the sudden quiet. From this oak tree to the waterfall and back." The words hung in the air, unmoving. A squirrel dropped an acorn. It hit the ground with a loud, hollow thud. The meadow went silent. Every creature nearby froze, waiting for the reaction. Harvey stared for a heartbeat, then his posture broke. He doubled over, clutching his stomach, his laughter erupting in loud, jagged bursts. He pointed at the ground, unable to stand straight, while Harvey continued to laugh, his eyes fixed on the tortoise as if waiting for him to admit it was a joke. Race day arrived under a bright, cloudless sky. A crowd of animals gathered at the starting line, their eyes darting between the two competitors. As the signal sounded, Harvey shot off like a bolt of lightning, vanishing into the distance within seconds, leaving only a swirling plume of dust in his wake. He reached the halfway point at the waterfall, skidded to a halt, and looked back. The path behind him was empty. Not a single movement disturbed the grass. "Too easy," he muttered, his voice flat with boredom. He spotted a patch of shade beneath a willow tree, curled up, and fell into a deep, heavy sleep. Meanwhile, miles behind, Thomas did not stop. He did not check for the hare. He focused only on the next patch of dirt. One step, then another. The rhythm of his walk was constant, a slow, mechanical beat against the earth. He passed the halfway point without breaking his stride. As the sun began to dip lower, casting long, thin shadows across the meadow, Thomas kept his gaze fixed on the path ahead. His pace never faltered, even as the light turned from white to gold. He moved with the persistence of the tide, inching closer to the finish line, while the hare remained motionless. Harvey woke with a sudden, violent jolt as the shadows stretched long and thin across the grass. He scrambled to his feet, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. The sun was dipping toward the horizon. He did not look back. He pushed off the ground and sprinted toward the finish line, his muscles screaming with every stride. His breath came in ragged, burning gasps, and the wind whipped past his ears, but the finish line felt miles away. He rounded the final bend, expecting to see an empty path, but his feet skidded to a halt. The meadow was alive with sound. A crowd of animals stood gathered, cheering wildly, their voices rising in a deafening roar. There, in the center of the clearing, Thomas was moving with a calm, deliberate step. He did not rush. He did not look back. He simply placed one foot in front of the other until his front edge crossed the finish line. The applause reached a crescendo. Harvey stood frozen, his mouth agape, his chest heaving as he watched the scene unfold. He had lost. Harvey walked toward the tortoise, his head hanging low, his feet dragging in the dirt. He stopped a few paces away. "You won," Harvey whispered, the words barely audible over the fading cheers. How? Thomas turned, his expression gentle, his breathing steady. Slowly, Thomas replied, and without stopping. Harvey stood still, the weight of his own arrogance finally dropping away. He looked at the path, then back at the tortoise. From that day on, Harvey ran. He ran through the meadows and over the hills, feeling the wind against his fur and the ground beneath his feet. He learned that speed was a gift, but persistence was the engine that carried him home.